How's everybody doing? Today is March 1st, and it's been a long fucking week. It has been a long week. From the time I finally, not even then, but from the time I started putting the first show together up until now, which has been over a week, it has been long as shit. But like Tisha Campbell, I am still here. We are still here. And we got shit that we gotta discuss. Right now, of course this show is pre-recorded, so for me it's up to the day before or a couple days before the actual show comes, is posted online. I really, really have no interest in talking about the shit that's going on right now. This whole like P Diddy and Meek Mill and Usher and all that other shit. I could talk about it this week, but it's really going to draw me back to the same conversation I had with you guys last week, which was the whole standard of evidence, the looking into things, the not believing things as facts off face value. And I feel like I haven't been on Instagram in like a week, but from what I'm seeing on like Facebook and Twitter, it's a lot of the same shit that people just do because they want a bandwagon, because they want the clicks and the views and all this shit, and nobody's really looking at it from an objective standpoint. They just want a bandwagon, pretty much. Then you got Meek Mill making 10,000 posts in a day talking about the issue when he could have just said, listen, I did not fuck that nigga. I did not have sexual relations with that man, nor any man, by y'all. And he could have left that shit at that. But he went on a whole rant. And I really didn't even see most of it because I've been working most of the day. So when I got home, I went to his page because people been retweeting and all that shit. I don't follow him on Twitter, so I went to his page and I just started scrolling. I'm like, you have really been talking for hours about this. So why? So what? These people think you gay. So what? Are you gay? Are you a homosexual? If not, then why? If you are, why does it matter? If you ain't, why does it matter? It's like, within yourself what you are and call it a day. But it's whatever. It's whatever for me. I ain't gonna spend not too much more time on that. We gonna move the fuck on. So I wanted to get this out of the way first. Netflix has been in they've been in the era of making live action remakes. The two most recent live action remakes that I have watched are Yu Yu Hakusho, which is a anime from early 2000s, 90s, depending on if you're talking about the original or the American made version. And then also they did a live action recently of the Avatar Last Airbender. So I'm not finna spend too much time on this because I don't want this show to be as long as the last one was. I really, really liked the Last Airbender live action remake. I did. I did not watch that film that came out like 10 years ago. I did not. I saw people talking shit about it. I saw a few clips from it, and I was not interested. I have never seen any. They say you should, which I encourage that too. They say you should look for yourself and get your own personal observations and all that type of shit. But once I saw them clips, I was like, this acting is terrible. This CGI is terrible. This music is terrible. Everything about this is terrible. And I was like, this is not. It's for somebody, and that's fine that it's for them, but it's not for me. This should not have been made, in my opinion. That movie should not have been made. That movie should not have been made like the movie Dragon Ball should not have been made. Why? And for the record, I didn't see that movie either. I just saw clips and was like, I have no desire or effort in my heart, in my mind, in my soul to see this bullshit. So I'm going to leave it right where it is. And all the reviews I saw after making that decision validated that. So once again, I'm pretty sure that movie is for somebody. It is just not for me. But back to Netflix. I thought that Netflix did a really, really good job with the film. Not the film, but the 8-episode series. Did they mash a couple things in there? Yeah. But I've grown to accept that that's just what Netflix does. What Netflix does is that they want the audience to be compelled enough in the story to rewatch it. They want the audience to be compelled enough to share it with their friends, so that might increase their subscriptions. And they also want the audience to be compelled in the series enough to generate a just cause to make a second season. However, there's a such thing as budget. And when you have something like the Avatar Last Airbender, where it requires a lot of money to do, it's gonna mess up the story a little bit and how they put things together. Like it's when it comes to live action, it's very much so a give and take. And I think when people be online and they say, "Oh, this shit sucks," they aren't thinking about that aspect of it. Like, there's a production side of all of this, and there's them wanting you to come back. And I think sometimes Netflix gets a little overzealous and they mash things together. Like with Yu Yu Hakusho, I did not like that. Like, before I made this podcast, I posted on my Instagram about that and my Facebook stories. I did not like that. I like some of the characters. I love Kurama. I thought Yusuke was acceptable. I would have preferred him to be, his look was fine. It's just Yusuke has a very trash talk, witty, sarcastic aspect to his character that I really did not see portrayed in live action. That's my only criticism of that character. Kuwabara wasn't as goofy as he probably should have been. But I can forgive those things because it's live action. But it's just the fact that they try to mash 3 seasons of material together. And I'm like, y'all could have really made a compelling stories out of the first 2 seasons and gave us the Dark Tournament in the next season. But they know, most people, when they think of Yu Yu Hakusho, they think of the Dark Tournament. They don't think of the Black Tape chapter that came after that with Shinobu Sensui. They don't think about the I forgot the villain's name, but the villain that they met when they was training under Genkai. They forget about that. They forget about the guy that I'm terrible with names. Damn. The guy that they met, the first mission that Hiei Kurama, Yusuke, and Kuwabara all went on as a group to this castle place. You know, you could have made a good first season without even getting into all that yet. If that would have been good enough, now people would be like, "Bitch, I want to see what the fuck Toguro what they gonna do with this? Because this shit was good." And I think a lot of people would have gave them a lot more leniency because a lot of people aren't familiar with those parts of the story because everybody focuses on the Dark Tournament. And I think some people felt like that about The Last Airbender. For me, I want to make this clear. I am not an Airbender fanatic. I have seen the series of, the cartoon series, Avatar Last Airbender. I'm in the process of rewatching it now. I think I just completed season 1 since I finished the live action Netflix series. And I've watched the entire series of Legend of Korra twice. But I would not consider myself a fanatic. Like if somebody if I had to do a trivia quiz strictly on that, I'm not too sure I would pass it. So I want to make that clear. There are a lot more people who are deep into that shit, and I'm not deep into that shit, So I put that nice little caveat on that. But from where I stand, where my opinion is on it, I thought the CGI was very good. The CGI was better than the fucking movie, live action movie. I thought the story that they put together wasn't a little choppy in some places. Did they change some things around? Yeah, but I didn't mind it because once again, I understood Netflix's process, and I'm not as emotionally attached to this series as some people might be. So I didn't really have any gripes with a lot of the changes that they made. I thought Appa and Momo looked a lot better than I thought they were gonna look. Now, the first time I saw Appa, I'm like, "Ooh, you looking real CG. You looking real computer generated. You looking real fake in here amongst all this real ass shit." But it got better as the season went on, and I kind of stopped noticing it. Aang in the Avatar state was really good. I like that. My favorite character interactions were between Zuko and Iroh. I really liked their relationship. I like the new stuff they added in their relationship. I like the fact that we got to know a little bit more about Iroh's son and how Iroh sees Zuko and the moments of understanding or compassion between Iroh and Zuko. And I enjoyed the small changes they made with the relationship between Zuko and his father, the Fire Lord King. Azula was okay. I thought they could have did better with her, and I don't know whether to place that on the actress or place that on the writers, or maybe it's a little bit of both. But I thought she was just okay. She seemed like a skilled warrior, but she didn't seem like she was like as imposing as she was in the cartoon series. And I also like Aang's relationship with once again, I'm terrible with fucking names. I should have wrote this shit down. Aang's relationship with his mentor before the Fire Nation invaded. That relationship was really good too. I even teared up during his "You'll always be my friend" little speech. I was like, oh my goodness. Aang got a friend in him. Aang has a friend in him. Then he died. Oh shit. My bad. Spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. Wait, y'all know that nigga gonna die. If y'all seen the cartoon, y'all know that nigga's gonna die. So I ain't spoiled too much. But yeah. So all in all, I really enjoyed the series. I really liked it for what it was. And I'll probably watch it again. I'll definitely watch it again. I would recommend to those who are fans of the show. I recommend it to those who are kind of interested in sci-fi-ish type of material but haven't seen the actual source material. Uh, I recommend watching the live action first, and then watching and then watching the cartoon. Because I feel like if you watch the cartoon first and then you try to watch the live action, your mind is gonna start nitpicking. You're gonna be like, well, they didn't add this. They didn't say anything about this. Well, how come the owl is in the library in the cartoon, but in the live action show he's in a fucking forest? You know, watch the live action first if you haven't watched anything like Avatar related. But yeah, all in all, I would give it. I would give it out of 10. I would give it a. I'll give it a 7. A 7 or a 7.5. Because it was really good to me. And 7.5 is a really good score for me. It might sound a little average, but it's a really good score for me. So yeah, I recommend it. Go ahead and log into your Netflix and take a peek, or log into somebody else's Netflix and take a peek whenever you had a time. I just want to talk about that since that's something I've recently watched, and it's been trending lately and all that other shit. The next issue, well, not issue, but the next topic I kind of want to get into is, and I've been battling on how I'm going to structure what I'm going to say, because this is a very, very sensitive issue, because it gets into people's religious and political points of views, and it gets into society norms and all of this. So I get it, but I have an opinion, and my opinion will be said. So this topic is about trans people in society. Not just society, but the black culture in particular. So, as you guys know, there are people in the world that we live in that they feel since childhood, or since as early as they can remember, that they've been born into the wrong body. They feel as though they've been born male and they should be female, or they're born female and they should be male. Some people kind of suppress these feelings, and they go on to live what they believe is a normal life. Other people don't suppress that feeling, and they're like, bitch, this life is not normal. I have to change this myself. And they go through, breast reductions or breast implants, or genital sex changes and all that. And the more that society begins to turn towards the acceptance of LGBTQIA plus XYZ elemental P individuals, the more people are feeling comfortable with coming out, saying that they have felt this way, and they want to make the switch. They want to make the change. There are groups of people as well who believe that these people are sick. These people have a mental disorder. These people are trying to force themselves into other people's lives, whether it be out in public, whether it be in the entertainment sphere or art. They're trying to force themselves in school, in their kids' school, and all of that. And they want to fight against that. And there are other people as well that feel as though these people are challenged to their own manhood or their own womanhood, and they feel as though this sickness needs to stop and we need to return how real men and women, quote unquote, real used to be. The first thing I want to say is that people really need to mind their fucking business. And that is a very difficult thing to do, because what I have an issue with, I am a man. I have no idea what it's like to grow up feeling, or to wake up one day feeling as though I've been born in the wrong body. Now, I've woken up feeling like I should wake up with a better body. You know, maybe my stomach should be flatter. Maybe this back fat can come on down. Maybe I can unbig my back. I woken up with them thoughts every now and then, from time to time, every blue moon. But I have never woken up and say, you know what? I feel like I should be a woman. I really think that I just, this is wrong. This is not how I really feel. So it's hard for me to really understand how trans people feel. But just because it's hard for me to understand does not mean that how they feel is invalidated. Okay? Follow me. When it comes to trans people, regardless of what your religion is, regardless of what your political stance is, we live in a country where you should be able to maximize the quality of your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. And I feel like an individual should be able to do that as long as they are not causing any, as long as they're not stealing, as long as they're not, telling lies that put people's life in danger, or is against the law, things like that, or as long as they're not in immediate danger to the public as well. What a lot of people will do is that they'll hate on a certain group based off how they were raised, based off their culture, based off of whatever religious views they may have. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You know, like, I'm not saying, for me personally, if I'm just to say it personally, I don't think that type of shit is true at all. But I also think that type of shit. So you can have something that you have that is very special to you, that you hold very close to your heart, such as your cultural beliefs, your religious beliefs. But you don't have the right to force those ideals on someone else in a country where we should be allowed to fully pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A man getting a sex change, Caitlyn Jenner becoming Caitlyn Jenner, has no impact on my life. It doesn't. I don't care if Caitlyn Jenner had a sex change and now she had a dick, now she had a pussy. I don't care if Caitlyn Jenner decided to get breast implants and keep her dick because she enjoys stabbing niggas in the back sometimes. I don't. This does not affect me unless I am looking for that type of person to enter into a sexual hookup or a romantic relationship with. It does not concern me. And for me, it bothers me that people are so bothered about shit that has nothing to do with them. And I don't see it much in, because I don't, it's not done on purpose. Before I say this out my mouth, it's not done on purpose, but it's just the way it is. I don't have, I don't have, and I haven't had a lot of white or Spanish friends. So I don't know how their culture really reacts to those type of things. But what I can tell you is that black people really have this thing, especially when it comes to other black people, of not minding their business when it comes to things that don't affect us as a whole. You, a person being trans has nothing to do with you. I don't care if your husband cheated on you with a man or with a trans person. I don't care if you feel as though what happened to the masculine men and yada yada yada. If you feel like all the men are becoming feminine, then do the work and pursue a nigga that matches the level of masculinity that you're looking for. But to go online or to be in life bashing other people because of how they want to pursue the maximum quality of their life, their liberty, and their pursuit of happiness is crazy to me. And my thing is, I don't see a hell of a lot of black men doing it unless somebody tries to involve them in it. Like if somebody accuses them of something, or if they hit on a trans woman, not realizing, oh, this is a trans woman, then they become all enraged and upset and want to say shit online. You know, when it comes to, if that energy is pointed towards them in any type of way, then they'll start the bullshit, basically. But a lot of people I see on here just so happen to be black women. Black women. We have to understand, all of us. We are black people, and as black people, as human beings, we are not going to be the same. We not. There are some of us that are gay, some of us are bisexual, some are short, some are tall, some of us are Christians, Muslims, atheists, some of us are fat, some of us are skinny, some, like we're all different. We all have different. Not every black person likes fried chicken and watermelon and Kool-Aid. Some black people don't like none of that shit. So we can't cling on to this, okay, this is what black culture is, and if you aren't doing this or believing this, then you aren't a part of our culture, or what's wrong with you, or this is what's wrong with our society now. People have we all have different fingerprints. We all have different taste buds. We all have different ways that we process things. Even if you think that this is wrong morally, think that it's wrong inside your fucking house. Talk about that amongst your family, amongst your friends, amongst people that share that opinion in y'all private space. But don't go out into public trying to make people feel bad about themselves or make them feel like they're sick or immoral because just on the simple fact that you don't agree with it. And then there are other people that'll be like, well, it's not just me. I'm not the one that agrees or disagrees with it. This is God's word. God said this. God was the one that told us in the good book that we ain't supposed to be doing this shit. Like I said last week, if that is something that you believe, cool. Let God handle that. And that's another thing that I don't plan on getting into religion until next week, because that's going to be a whole different thing in itself. But it really kills me it really grinds my gears. It really pisses me off. It really fascinates me when you have people in the world that believe in God and they believe that God is all powerful, they believe that God is all knowing, and they feel the need as well, believing all that, while believing all that, that they have to speak on God's behalf. They have to condemn you on God's behalf. They have to shun you on God's behalf. God, being all powerful and all knowing, should not need your help to do that. Shouldn't. Why are you concerned about that? Why should I worry? Why should I care? That is how I feel. And that is how I would think a lot of people would feel. Like, why? You know, it's like a lot of people were sitting here going off about, I was about to call that bitch Zendaya. That is not her name. Zion Wade? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Dwayne Wade's daughter. Son that turned into a daughter. Everybody had the opinion to say, oh, they aren't good parents. And what type of parents would do this? That's not your child. That's not your child, and that is not your business. It's not. If they want to support their daughter's life and her doing that, then that's their business. And it's like, I don't understand this constant need to, like, y'all, people want to make up these names for white women that be in people's business. They want to say Karen, but we really need to establish a term for black women as well that do these kind of things, because it's becoming ridiculous. And black men, y'all ain't off the hook either. I'm gonna circle back around to y'all motherfuckers in a minute, but we really need to just get the fuck over it. Trans people are here. If you think it's wrong, cool. They're here. If you think it's unattractive, cool. Don't fuck one. Like that, that's like the bitch that said, I forgot who originally said that, but they say if you have a problem with gay marriage, then don't marry somebody of the same sex, and that's how I see it, all of that shit. And then why is it that somebody changing their sex makes you feel I have never in life been, my manhood has never been threatened by a trans man. I'm sorry, it just hasn't. Nor really by a cis man either, to be honest. But it's like, are you insecure in yourself, and that's why you feel like these people are a threat to you and what you consider normal and what you find acceptable about the world? Is that what it is? Do you think that society is going to come to some overall collapse? Like, I've heard people say dumb shit like, this is going to lead to bestiality. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? Bestiality, really? So because we allow people to be who they feel they should be, we allow people to be who they feel they are, you feel like it's gonna lead to people just having sex with animals and shit, huh? Which I'm pretty sure there are a small number of people that do anyway. I done seen a nigga fuck a chicken online. Once again, you can see anything you want to online. But I don't see the purpose of it. I really don't. To me as well, I feel as though trans people sometimes take it too far too. Particularly, I feel like trans men are very unproblematic. They just are. You don't hear much about trans men. They just make the switch and they live their life, and you don't really hear much about. You don't hear much about it. I don't. But with trans women, here's the only thing that I don't understand that kind of bothers me. I try to put myself in a trans woman's shoes. If I was a male and I had a sex change, how would my disposition be? A, I don't believe that I would give a fuck about who acknowledges my pronouns. Trans people are able to it's legal for them to get the surgery. It's legal for trans people to go out and live their regular life as a trans person. You cannot have everything in the world. And what I mean by that is, just as I got on those people who hate on trans people, you can't sit there and try to make everybody respect your pronouns. I've seen videos of oh my goodness, you just called me sir, and that man does not have to respect your pronouns, boo. He don't. That's not. It is not his job to do that. It's not his duty to do that. He not trying to kill you. He ain't out. You know, he's not doing no shit that's a threat to your life, or being like hyper disrespectful, like bumping into you or spitting on you or some shit like that. Do you like he called you sir? So what? Call him ma'am and keep it pushing. Like, why are y'all making this uproar because somebody misgendered you or didn't respect your pronouns? Fuck them. If I was trans, the only people I would be concerned with accepting my pronouns is the people I love, which would be my friends and my family. As long as those people respected my pronouns and respected me as a person and respected the choices that I made, I would not give a fuck. So I don't understand why people give so many. Now I get that it might make you feel some type of way for you to put on the makeup, for you to invest in breast implants, for you to try to make yourself look as feminine as possible. It's more possible for some people than it is for others. It is definitely more possible for some, because some people spend a lot of money and they still be looking a little. They still be looking, but that should not matter. It's basically what I'm trying to say. That should not matter. And it really wouldn't matter to me. You can't, as long as you're able to love who you want to love and be the person who you want to be, take that. As long as you're not like discriminated against for like job opportunities or anything like that, then take it. But you can't make people respect that. That's like when people when they legalized gay marriage and people was making a big deal because the church refused to marry a gay couple. They have the right to do that. If they don't agree with the lifestyle, why would you want a church that don't agree with your views to marry you anyway? But why are you making this big hoopla over that? That's their right to not marry you. It just is. You can get married many other places. You can get married at another church that will accept that. And it's just like, yeah, it's like people want to force people on both sides to conform to how they feel the world should be. And we all live in this world together. It is give and take. You can't force people to conform to your worldview. You can't. It is okay for you to have your own worldview. It is okay for you to feel how you feel, to feel like something's immoral or to it's okay. I'm not making your feelings not valid, but you cannot force other people to conform to that. You can't. That's like with trans women in using the female bathroom. I understand. I get it. You should be able to just go in the bathroom and use it. Is it fair? No, but understand that women have concerns about that. Is it likely that a man that's interested in little girls would dress up as a female just to go try to fuck one in the bathroom? I don't think it's highly likely. I'm not saying it's impossible because this probably happened, but I don't think that's a thing of high likelihood. Is what I'm saying. But the problem still exists. The possibility still exists. So cool. Y'all have a problem with either use the family bathroom, use the men's bathroom, go in there, do what you gotta do, and come out, or use the bathroom at home and call it a day. You can't have everything. You can't. Like to me, for females, that's to me in my head, that's a legitimate concern. Now, why would you be letting your daughter go in the bathroom by herself that long? I don't know. But some people do. We know a lot of people that have kids shouldn't have kids. We know this. But you can't, as a trans person, you can't expect everybody to just conform to however you are and however you want things to be. Because once again, we're all different. So just as sure as you're able to get the surgery for it, just as sure as you're able to walk outside, because there are some countries that you probably won't be able to do that in, like Uganda. I'm pretty sure that surgery is not available. I'm pretty sure your ass, as born a man or female, cannot be walking outside as the opposite sex. You can't. You getting this electric chair, you getting this boulder to your head, you getting a gunshot or whatever the fuck they got going on over there. So you gotta have to take you have to take and give. If there's a genuine injustice, then yes, I say fight it. But you have to learn how to choose your battles. Like with sports, for me, I don't feel like trans people should be involved in sports. Not on the same level with cis people. I just don't. Because it's a chemical difference there. So when you decide, okay, I'm going to start making the transition, you have to be like, okay, listen, there are certain things I'm not going to be able to do. Most people might respect my pronouns, but there are some people that just aren't going to, and that's okay. But it's cool because I get to live and be who I want to be. I get to pursue my happiness in what I feel like is my freedom. You know, and then people be online with all of this. There are real men. There are real women. And to me, in my head, how I see it, and people will disagree with this too, and I don't give a fuck. I feel like there are multiple kinds of women, but there's only one kind of female. There are multiple kinds of men, but there's only one kind of male. To me, in my head, a female and a male is what you are born as. That is your gender that you are assigned to at birth. That's what was on your birth certificate. That when you slid down your mama's pussy or came out that hole in her stomach, that's the genitals that you had. Okay? But I feel like there are such thing as, when you say women or men, to me it's not necessarily about the genitals, it's about the essence or the presence or the characteristics or the mannerisms, like being able to embody that that masculine energy or that feminine energy. And always keep in mind, all of us are on a spectrum. There are gay men that are very masculine. There are straight men that are a little feminine. There are straight women that are very masculine. There are straight women that are very feminine. So it's like we're all on a spectrum, and we try our best to squeeze and limit ourselves to as few options as possible. So in our own minds, the world makes sense based off of how we grew up, and you can't do that. So let that marinate on your mind for a little minute. Let that, just think about it. And I'm not saying, like, if you're against trans, you don't have. I'm not saying that you have to accept it. That I even if you don't accept it, why are you putting so much effort in giving a fuck? It's basically what I'm saying. Like, even with the like, I saw somebody on Twitter. I should have really involved this in Twitter reads, but you know how you be on Twitter and then you fuck around and press that home button and the whole shit refresh. That's what happened, and I lost it. But there was a nigga getting his nails done, and people, and one of the people I follow on Instagram got his nails done too, and he said he's straight. But there's this guy getting his nails done, in this very like feminine style of way that women get their nails done. And she came online and quoted it, talking about all these niggas is gay. I'm tired of this gay shit. That this ain't the new thing and all this other shit. Listen, bitch. If you don't like niggas that wear tight pants and get their nails painted and all that, then don't date one, bitch. Don't date one. Don't date one, don't fuck one, don't be around them if you don't like it. But why are you on here on a platform bashing people? Why are you spending that much energy to expend that much hate and disdain for something? Why? I don't understand that. I really don't. And it's like I said last week, I really wish that people would spend more time talking about the things they love than the things they hate. Talk about what you love. I would rather, if you see a nigga getting his nails painted and that's not something you like, I would rather you go inside your phone or go to a nigga, a very masculine nigga that you just love and adore, and repost him and show him some appreciation, versus reposting something to hate on it. For what? That shit disgusts me. It really does. But I'm over it. I'm really over it. I want people overall, in all, to mind their business and learn how to learn some tolerance, learn how to walk in love, learn how to respect everybody in their views, and understand you're not gonna have it all. Life is not gonna be all of your way. It's a compromise. Just like it should be in politics, and we'll get on that shit next week. How we live in this society together is all about compromise. In your everyday relationships, it's about compromise. When it comes to your job, it's about compromise. And a lot of people are so stuck on themselves and how they think and the way they feel the world should be, that they, instead of learning how to compromise, they're willing to just sit here and hate on shit and shit on shit. And that's gotta stop. It really has to. But I talked about that a little too long. I went over my time. Let's get into the I guess the third thing that I want to talk about today. This one's gonna be short. I want to talk about the non-black use of the N-word, of the word nigga or ER. So, this is something that I've grown to really not give a fuck about. as I've gotten older. Growing up, I was really not a cursing type of person. I really, honestly, I didn't start cursing until I became an adult. To be honest, like I didn't even use the word nigga very often because I grew up with a very old school parent. I grew up in a very around a lot of old school people that just didn't use that language. Um, it's shocking to me, or I'm gonna say it was shocking to me to hear black people using certain words like nigga growing up, and eventually I got used to it. But something that really shocked me was when white people would use it, and then later on when black people seemed to allow white people to use it. And growing up, I was always under the impression that the ER was a racial slur, something that they made you feel less than, or try to make you feel less than, something that masses or the quote unquote authority or government or people in charge or white, just white people, will make you try to feel like you're beneath. So we took that term and used it as what they call a term of endearment. So, but keep in mind that the word used to be used as a slur. I think the thing that kind of bothered me the most about white people using it is not even white people using it, because to an extent you expect it, because there's still a lot of racist people in the world, in this country. But it is the trivial, the insignificant, the minute reasons that people give out passes for white people to say nigga. And it's like people find out, you've been growing up drinking Kool-Aid, or you invited to the cookout, you can say nigga now. It's just you attract the black women, or you invited to the cookout, you can say nigga now. And it's just, I'm not saying all of us do that, but it's a healthy amount of people that do that. And I never understood, because a white person participates in some of the things that are normally or stereotypically considered normal to the black culture. Like they adopt these things, and you find out they've grew up around these things, and all of a sudden they can. I understand being cool with them for being accepting of the culture, and liking the culture and all that, but I guess in my head I feel like that's just something that it's a slur that was used against us. So I feel like that word should be exclusive to us. But I feel as though, since black people have taken it upon themselves to give so many people passes for saying it, I kind of just stopped giving a fuck about it. And the word in my head, either way you look at it, doesn't have a whole lot of power in my mind to me. Like, there was a guy, I was working, it was a couple weeks ago, there was a guy calling me a nigga over the phone. One of my customers. And he knew I was, he called me, and first of all, he didn't say nigga, he said nigger. He didn't say nigga, he said nigger. So he said the ER, paused, asked me, he was like, this is the black guy I'm speaking to, right? And then proceeded to call me the ER again. So I was on the phone with the customer, and my friend was sitting next to me at the time. He had came in from out of town, and I was going to take him a couple places. And his first response, because I had the customer on speaker, his first response was, okay, so are we finna roll up on this nigga or what? Like, we finna go up to this store and play sock and boppers with this nigga? Or what? And with me, I was like, bitch, it's fine. Like, I was so unbothered by it. I don't know how I would have took that in person. And I don't know if I would have been bothered by the word itself or if I would have been bothered by his intent to disrespect me. I don't know which one would have hit me harder. But I don't know how that would have worked out in person. But over the phone, I was just like, why? Me going down there and whooping that man's ass, me getting upset about it. Why? Black people have made it comfortable for people to say the word. So if they use the word when you're upset about something, then fuck it, because that's just, to me. I treat them the same. It's either you can't use neither one of them. GA or ER. You can't use either one of them. But if you allow one, then I'm just like, well, fuck it. It's just, in my mind, it becomes a lot less significant. And I just feel like if it doesn't affect my bread, then I just be like, fuck it. I'm not finna sit here and go whoop this man's ass or go jack this man up or go up there clapping hands, calling people pussy assholes because he decided to want to try to get up under my skin. Why give him that? So, I brought up this topic more so for you guys to chime in on how you feel about it, because I don't know. Like, I'm starting to just not give a fuck about the whole thing, and just be like, well, we've allowed a lot of people to use the word, so whatever. It becomes too confusing for me about who y'all do and don't want to use it. So I just stopped giving a fuck. But yeah, this is more so for people to give me their opinion on it, because my opinion on that topic is waning. When I tell you that shit is waning like a motherfucker, it is waning. Another thing I kind of want to get into is, I'm kind of rolling up on an hour now, to be honest. Do I want to save this for next week? I'll save it for next week. My intention was to talk about social media and its long-term effects that it's been having on society. But I honestly will probably end up talking another 40 minutes about that shit. So I'm going to save that for next week. And I don't know. I might make that its own separate video, because I planned on speaking about politics and religion next week. So I shall see. But I will skip that, because I do want this one to be a little shorter. So let's go into the Twitter reads. Let me pull up this tweet real quick. So, on Twitter, somebody wrote, y'all be broke as fuck and worried about love. And I'm going to repeat that. He said, y'all be broke as fuck and worried about love. I feel like, okay, so I feel like it's very possible, and I believe I said that when I said this when I quoted the tweet. It's possible to walk and chew gum. So you can spend time getting your finances together while at the same time looking for love. A lot of the time that people say get your finance together before you look for love is because a lot of times dating or being in a relationship requires spending quite a bit of money. And I don't think it necessarily has to be that way. We can spend, like, if both of us are on a budget, we can do some shit for free. Like, we can find some very inexpensive shit to do. If we're on a budget and we're both have plans on what we're trying to do with ourselves, and we're not quite where we want to be to go out and spend money frivolously and going out on dates and shit. I feel like if you get with somebody who understands where you are and who is also making plans for themselves to become more financially stable, then I think that works out. Like, you can build yourself, and this is where a lot of people did back in the day, where they would get together. Both of them really don't have much, but they make things work. One thing about me, I don't need to be wealthy or have a lot of money to find ways to spend time with you if I'm really interested in you. So I just feel like you don't. Is it better to have money and when y'all can go to all these expensive places and all this type of shit and all that? That's great. But I don't think that it's necessary. Now, if you're the type of person who spends frivolously, if you're the type of person that has no goals for their money or no goal for increasing their bank account or net worth or overall value, then yeah, you don't need to be dating because you need to be working on yourself. And through working on yourself, you'll learn to work on your finances. But it's your finances, I feel like, aren't the problem. It's you that's the problem. So, and then a lot of things is with me too is that those type of statements wouldn't be made if we didn't live in such a materialistic and such a superficial society, because people expect people are very finicky. They're finicky. They're wishy-washy. They fuck with you one day, they don't fuck with you the next day. They'll date you as well as Tom, Dick, and Harry. They talking to this nigga, telling you how they feel about you this point in time, not knowing that they telling the next nigga the same thing. So it doesn't make sense to spend very much money. I would rather spend a bunch of money on you if we're like in a very committed relationship to the point where we're living together. Then I'd rather spend bank on you. Or if we're like married, then I'll spend bank on you. But how people are today, people ain't worth that expense. They just not. People are not worth that expenditure. It's just why would I sit here and spend all this money dating you when y'all hoes ain't loyal? Why? So it doesn't make sense. Like, for me, any money that I spend early on, I have already accepted that that's money that I can afford to just expend. Like, that's money that's disposable to me. But I'm not finna spend money I need going out with somebody. I'm just not. And that's really at any level of relationship, bitch. If I need this money, I need this money. I'm sorry. But again, I'm the type of person, I put pressure on myself to elevate to the next level of finance, whatever level that is. Like, with me, I spent I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. I spent the past 10 years of my life from 20 to 29, I spent a lot of that time looking for love and never found it. I spent a lot of money on the relationships I was in. I spent a lot of money on dating. But, there were a lot of times that I was broke as shit, broke as fuck. But I always managed to find a job that was paying me more than the last job that I was at. So yes, I had many years of being broke where I didn't have money to do this, didn't have money to do that. But my brokenness wasn't because of the jobs I had. It was just the decisions that I was making with that money. Spending it on the wrong shit, spending it on the wrong people. And I think your mindset, if you have the right mindset, you can do multiple things at one time, is basically what I'm trying to say. So with me, I'm at a point now where the job I have now, I'm making more money. I'm making probably $20,000 more than any job I've did, more than the highest job I've had before this. Just about. Despite having went through all of that. So you can go through relationships, you can look for love, and it can be unsuccessful, and you can have times where you fuck up with your money. But as long as you have the mindset of, okay, what is my next move? How am I going to get money? And you don't stop yourself in your progress to that, then I think you can do multiple things at one time. You just have to learn how to make better decisions. And that's just how I see that. Like, period, point blank, you have to learn how to make better decisions with your money. So yeah. And that's how I feel about that. And then as well, while I'm on the subject, you have to learn what you can afford to. Like, for example, I give you a quick example. Let's say, could I afford, let's say, a Lexus truck? Yeah. I could afford the car note for it, probably. And still live in the place I am now. But I'm not going to have the money to pay for unexpected expenses. Like if a tire busts, or if I get a ticket, or if let's say it's super hot outside and I fuck around and leave my AC on and now my light bill is $200. Like it limits your ability to save money, and it limits your ability to respond to unexpected expenses. So if you can't respond to unexpected expenses, if you can't afford to save money, then you're not going to grow. The only way you're going to grow is if you have enough money to save. Especially if you're not the type of person that's going to increase your role in your job to get promoted or something like that. If you plan on going on like business venture endeavors, or some type of other money making thing, it costs money to make money. It does. So when you talk about getting a degree or a certification or some type of certificate or something like that, that's going to cost money. And if you're out here buying these materialistic ass things that's taking up all of your disposable income, you're not going to be able to grow. And it's going to take one or two things that you have to pay for, that's going to bring the whole ship down. And I think that's what a lot of people don't think about, like shit like that. Like, you have to be smart with your money. Like, okay, listen, I can't afford a Lexus truck. So how about, a nice little Honda truck or a nice little Toyota truck, something like that. You can't give yourself what you've earned, not what you think you deserve. Work towards earning what you think you deserve. And really think about that. You have to work towards earning what you think you deserve. If you think you want a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 7-bedroom house, that's cool. But don't just go out and spend that money to get it, not knowing if you're going to be able to maintain it. Okay? Because all big budget things have a maintenance fee. Cars has a maintenance fee. A house has a maintenance fee. An apartment shit has a maintenance fee. Will that be the fucking lights or water or whatever other utilities you have it in there? That's maintenance. And fixing that shit is maintenance. So it's like, don't get so caught up in the glorified picture in your head of what you think you deserve because you've lived this type of life or because you've dealt with this. You need to work towards, if you feel you deserve it, I love that for you. I like that for you. But do the work first. Do the work first. Earn the money and then get what you deserve. Now there are some people in life, they people do really have things handed to them. They do. That's life. You know, like some people have things handed to them on a silver spoon. Some people always get what they want. Some people are always in good financial situations. Some people, you know, it's life. But do the best you can to position yourself where you feel you should be. As far as what you deserve. So, I'm about to conclude today's show. And I'm proud of myself because my talking ass ain't talk. Because y'all know I be talking. I'm going to leave y'all with this. Whatever you find yourself going through in life, whatever struggle you have, whether that be with managing your money, whether that be with struggles with your weight, struggles with drugs, struggles with drinking, whatever your struggle is in life, do not, and do me this big favor, do not give up on you, and do not give up on the people that love you and don't give up on you. Value people that are really there for you when you really need it. Okay? Value people who come into your space, and for them, it is a privilege to be in your space. Because it is. Never give up on what you're trying to do for yourself, on the goals you're trying to reach. I don't give a fuck if you have to do it 1,000 times. I don't give a fuck if you have a month break or relapse or whatever it may be. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall. You make a plan, and sometimes those plans don't always go how you want it to go. And that's fine. But never give up. Always put in the back of your mind, okay, tomorrow, I'm going to get this shit together. If you don't get it together tomorrow, then keep telling yourself until you find a way that works for you that'll help you stay on track. Try every single method that you can think of to get on the track that you're trying to get to get you to that destination that you're trying to get to. And if you have people that value you, if you have people in your life that love you, if you have people in your life that respect you as a person and are there for you the way you're there for them, if you have people in your life that are truly about the business of themselves and they are about the business of being about you as well, value those people, because in moments where you feel weak, in times where you don't feel strong enough to do the goals that you have set out for yourself, it is those people that are going to provide that extra strength that extra cushion when you fall. And if you don't have anybody, stay strong. And when you fall, have a piece of yourself in your mind that says, nigga, we need to get up. Bitch, we need to get up. And we need to do this shit again. I have had plenty of moments in my life where I have fallen off of whatever goal I'm trying to achieve. You know, and I always keep in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, Kyle, I'm gonna give you a day, I'm gonna give you a couple weeks, I'm gonna give you whatever, but you gotta start again. And I try to challenge myself. Go longer this time than you did the last time. Even if you fall again. Last time you went 2 weeks before you started fucking up. This time at least go 3. Okay, we done went 3 weeks. You ain't fucked up yet. Try to do another week. Like, try to challenge yourself, because if you don't find a way to mentally and emotionally challenge yourself to get to where you feel like you're a more complete person, then you're gonna be like a lot of people who get stuck in a certain mold, who get stuck at a certain place in life, who get stuck at a certain age in life. Don't be that person. So, you know, there are some people that they have people in their corner that's gonna hold their hand, hug them tight, let them know everything's gonna be okay. Let them know, bitch, I am not just here for you. I am here with you. And that is a powerful thing to have in a friend, in a family member, in a lover, because a lot of people will be there for you. They'll give you encouraging words, but not a lot of people are going to be there with you, saying whatever the fuck your goal is, I'm going to help you with that, because I give a fuck about you and where you want to be in life. If that's the goal that you set for yourself, then let's get it together. Let's get this done. So don't give up. Don't give up. If you have something that you're trying to fix in your life, if you have something, I guess like a generational curse that you're trying to break, or if you are trying to get to a certain career path, or, you know, just anything. If you have a goal that will make your life feel more full and more complete, don't give up on that. So that's all I have to say for today. You know, try to keep this show short. Had a lot of good talks. But I will see you guys next week. Hopefully next week is hopefully these next 7 days are a lot less stressful than these past 7 days have been, because these past 7 days have been some bullshit. But just like I'm telling y'all, don't give up. I'm keeping my peace. I'm trying to, you know, relax. I'm trying to encourage myself to, you know, anything that I tell y'all on here, that doesn't exempt me from it either. So yeah, have a good day, have a good week. Make sure you eat something healthy. Make sure you get some good sleep. Make sure you do something nice for somebody you care about this week. I will see you guys later. Have a good one and stay safe.